How's it going, everyone? So, I just wanted to make a video to kind of go over what I've recently been doing, and I have read this book at least 5 times, cover to cover, and I've been doing extensive research and notes and really trying to understand this book. And I have a few more books that I want to get into in depth, but I'm really trying to just devour this one. And I've been doing this for a while now, really trying to understand it. And really, what it seems like to me from this book and reading it extensively over and over and over again is that capitalism, what it has done is it has made everything isolated and individualistic, as in it takes people away from their communities basically and allows them to be converted into something to generate money or math or whatever, right? That's what it is. Because here's the thing. When you're in a community, you do things in that community. When you're in a community, as in like your family and your close friends, the way you behave with them morally is going to be completely different than you would behave with strangers. So people keep asking this question constantly. It keeps coming up constantly, where it's like people ask, well, why would I do something for this person if I'm not going to get anything out of it? The only reason we ask that question is because we're looking at it from the perspective of capitalism in itself when we're dealing with strangers. You don't usually ask about exchanges or what am I going to get out of something if you're dealing with your close-knit community, because in your close-knit community, you have mutual obligations and responsibilities to that community, and it's not based on exchange. It's not based on, oh, what am I going to get out of it? It's a completely different type of morality. But the reason we all think this way in this whole exchange idea is because everyone we deal with in the capitalist system, we have to exchange with outside of our friends and family. And then what capitalism does is it isolates the individual and pulls him or her from their community. And then that's like the only way you can look at the world. I mean, I don't know if this makes sense, but it really does. Like, so imagine you have a person that's growing up in a capitalistic system. So your whole family is in this capitalistic system. And what happens? It's a system that is forced upon you, right? And so you're forced to interact with it. And what happens? You have to go and work and make money to get access to the things in the world, right? And because of that, you get isolated from your family. Back in the day, people did not become isolated from their communities in the way we are now. I mean, it doesn't happen. It never happened like this, where you would go to like, people back then did not, they didn't do the market like we do it now. It was completely different. Like, it's not, they didn't just go to a job and like work for money. You know, that wasn't a thing. Like, they had mutual responsibilities and obligations, and most of them lived on homesteads, and that's generally how they would get a lot of their needs met. And if they did have a market, it was mainly between themselves and their community. And I'm talking mainly about Europe. And it wasn't the way we look at it now, to where it's like we're mostly dealing with strangers. When you go out into the world and you want to buy stuff and you go into the marketplace or whatever, right? Any of these markets, you're dealing with nothing but strangers. And the only way to get what you want or need is through exchange. But if you eliminate the if you eliminate having to deal with strangers in this way, then everything switches from exchange morality to mutual responsibilities and obligations morality, and then you only deal with your community. Like, you only deal with your friends and family. And that's the problem. This is the whole problem, is we are essentially just dealing with nothing but strangers constantly. And that's the only way we can get anything, is because it's just nothing but exchange. It's nothing but exchange with strangers. And the whole reason why this, like, it's just terrible, is because the state, and with capitalism, it restricts you from getting anything without the means of money. So it forces you to be in this system whether you want to or not. It doesn't give you any alternatives. It doesn't give you anything outside of, okay, you have to go get the money, and then you use the money to get your needs and stuff like that, or wants or whatever, right? And that right there, I think, is one of the biggest problems. And people, they don't look at it like that, because we view everything in the terms of reciprocity, which this book talks about. But that in itself is just another form of exchange. It's just, we try to make it where it's balanced and it's equal and it's quote unquote fair, right? And everything equals out and stuff like that. So we're still looking at it from exchange, the exchange morality, and we're not looking at it from the morality that you would have with your friends, your community, and close acquaintances, where you trust them and you're not doing it out of exchange. You're doing it out of a completely different type of morality. And it's not a one-on-one exchange. And that's the biggest problem. So really what we need to do is to go back to community, right? But the issue is community. Like, today, community is so broken up. It's completely broken, and that is because the state that we're in, it breaks up the community. Like, it completely breaks it up. Like, people, they get completely broken up. Like, your family, most people's families, they don't even live near their other family members. They live in like completely different states, or they live in different countries or whatever. And that in itself is the community getting broken up to where everybody is just like individualistic. And there's no need for a community, because with money you can just be individualistic. You don't need anything from anyone. You need the money because it's forced upon you, but then you don't need your family and your friends. And that's what this whole system does, is it just completely breaks everyone up and then forces them to need money to get their needs and wants met. I don't know if this makes any sense, but and then you get isolated, and then you can't go anywhere. You don't have anyone. All your friends are gone, your family's gone, everything gets isolated, and the only thing you can do is go exchange something for money to get access to what you need and what you want. Because everything is put in place by the state, and that's the only way. That's the only way. It's absolutely crazy when you really start to understand and piece all this stuff together. But yeah, really what it is just like the state and the way debt is used, it just isolates everyone. But anyway, that's all I wanted to put out there. I'm still looking into this, and it's all coming together. But it really does seem like it's going back to the destruction of the community and making exchange morality the only morality. And that's why we have so many problems. But anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. But yeah, that right there is one of the biggest problems. And now everybody, now it's like it's an overdrive. Everyone is isolated. We're all isolated. We're all completely isolated from each other, and I think that's one of the reasons why we're having all of these like issues more and more, because there is no community. It's like all the community that we had in the past is just gone, and the only thing people know now is just exchange. And it's all in this book. This book is like talked about that, and it's crazy once you really see it and understand it.